So I finally saw the Queen of Me tour. Shania Twain came to Ottawa's Bluesfest yesterday. She actually brought in the biggest opening night ever of its entire history of Bluesfest. I think it's been almost 30 years or something like that. She brought in a solid 30,000 people. That is bigger than the amount that she brought in 2015 with the Rock This Country tour. She brought in, I believe it was 25,000 last time. This is pretty big. I didn't even know that that area could hold that much people. There's been complaints, obviously. For myself, I really did enjoy the show. I feel like it was different in the beginning with its original set list, but since then they've taken out newer songs from the Queen of Me album and they put in some older songs. They took out Pretty Liar, Last Day of Summer, Inhale, Exhale, and Roll Me Down the River from the Now album, and she performed absolutely nothing from the Now album. And then also the medley that consisted of like Nah, She's Not Just a Pretty Face, When, Thank You Baby, and Waiter Bring Me Water. That was completely removed, and I feel like they may have adjusted it just for this festival. That's why I really don't like festivals, and like I wish that she actually came to the Scotiabank place. So this way I had a seat. I got there at like 8 o'clock. It took me about 40 minutes to get in. Finally got in there and had just enough time to like make my way through as close as I could get, which wasn't really that close, but it fucking went really far back too. So I was happy that I got there when I got there. Anyways, the show started. She opened up with Waking Up Dreamin'. Not too many people, I guess, were familiar with the song. It was quite quiet. So I get why they removed the newer songs, obviously because people were bitching about it in social media, but also the response while there. She also performed Giddy Up. It kind of got the crowd involved with the na 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 part, but it was still kind of quiet during that moment, and especially number one. But when it came to the other songs, obviously the ones that people are more familiar with, people went crazy. Any Man in Mine was probably the biggest one. Next to Man, I Feel Like a Woman. People really responded to that well, as they always do. I just feel like the transitions could be better. There was complaints about her talking too much in prior shows, but also this one. But that's like a moment where she really connects with the audience and her fans. So it's like something that you either like or you don't. However, what I wish she would do differently is instead of performing track by track, she would make medleys or like a mix and just kind of like have the transitions really create this energy that builds, and like kind of like what Janet and Madonna and a lot of others do. I wish she would start doing that now, because she has a lot of material. Her catalog is huge, and she can really throw in a lot of songs, songs that aren't even singles. But considering her fan base, they really just want the singles. They don't give a fuck about the other album tracks and shit. So it's kind of like, yes, to appeal to us hardcore fans, but then I don't know, majority, there's been some crazy complaints, bro. One song that she chose to perform was Come On Over, and she didn't perform like No One Needs to Know or You Win My Love. So that was a little bit, that I love that song, don't get me wrong. It's just I felt like there was other better options. However, I finally got to hear Forever and Always live. So that's one of my favorites from her, man. It's just to kind of be in that space and that environment. The outdoors of that too, especially, was really nice. So outdoor events kind of has its good and its bad. Altogether, man, I have no complaints about the show. I enjoyed it. It was a special evening. I do feel like this was not as together as Rock This Country and Now. Like, my favorite opening is Rock This Country. Like, the intro to that is my favorite out of all tours that she's done. And I feel like if they kind of did the opening better to this one, especially with Waking Up Dreamin' as the chosen opener, it would have been received better. It didn't really land with me, the opening, unfortunately, but I still enjoyed it. Also, people were stating in comment section on the other posts that I did prior to this of Shania Twain, the number of them, people were saying that she was really like pushing the woke shit in this one. I didn't get that. I didn't get that at all. If you're referring to the two background singers kind of being, you know, flamboyant and extra and stuff, I wouldn't really consider that woke. And one thing that I left with because of that was she is a country superstar, but she is also an icon to the gay community. So it's kind of like, how do you balance that out, given that the country scene and majority of them are like homophobic, but yet you want to appeal and also acknowledge the support of the gay community. So it's like, kind of, how do you do that, man? I love that she just does her thing though and doesn't give a fuck what a lot of people say. However, they had to make adjustments. It's been said to me that even in the shows prior to this that they've taken out the newer songs, and I just feel like this is what it's going to be. She has some time off. Maybe they'll do some adjustments, tweak the show a bit, who knows. Regardless, I am looking forward to her next project, whatever she does. She says she's going to get into the studio, and she's excited to get back in the studio, and she has some ideas for new music. I'm really curious in which direction she's going to go for sound, given the amount of complaints with the recent album. And I think honestly country is her safe place. It seems like the unreleased tracks that came out, which were more country-ish, seem to have a better response. Even for myself, man, as much as I enjoy the album, those unreleased tracks just sounded like it sounded like there was an album at one point that consisted of these country, this country vibe, and then they kind of went more pop dance, and unfortunately that didn't really land well with people. I'm still shocked that fans kind of like borderline bullied her into completely changing the set list of her tour, mad at the fact that she was performing new music. And even just mad at the new music, like, fuck. Anyways, I will keep you guys posted, and I'm excited to see what she does next. We will see. Thanks again for tuning in. Until next time.